It's Fans Corner. Welcome to it and thank you for making time for us. It's the MTN 8 semi-finals. The first leg of the semi-finals. We've just watched Orlando Pirates against Mamelodi Sundowns out at the Orlando Stadium, Escotini Skamaminzela in Soweto. That game ending in a 1-1 draw. An entertaining game of football, I have to say. And this is pretty much why I was excited. I was excited when the two teams were drawn against each other in the semi-final because I was really yearning for two games before one of them makes it to the final. Two games between these two. Before we go into the game, remember to subscribe. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to Off Air Podcasts on YouTube or follow us on TikTok at Fans Corner or follow us on Facebook again on Fans Corner. Very interesting, very entertaining game of football that we've just witnessed here. Like I said, I was more excited about the draw of the two. I mean, them being drawn against each other when the semi-final draw was made. And I was, like I said, I wanted to see them facing each other twice because this is one game that you are guaranteed that both teams are going to come at each other. This is one game in South African football where you are definitely guaranteed that no one is going to sit back. The Pirates, in as much as they were not the favorites going into this particular game, they still did not sit back. Yes, in the first half they did not have the position, but when they did have the ball, they tried to go to create chances, especially in the first half, but they were so much under pressure because they did not have the ball. And Pirates are a team that plays with the ball. They play better with the ball than without the ball. We've spoken about this before. There are teams that are able to play even without the ball, place themselves in good positions even without the ball. So, and then you are playing against a team that monopolizes ball possession in the form of Mamelodi Sundowns. And so far, before today's game, we had not yet seen Sundowns stepping up outside or beyond the second or third gear of their game, but today that they had to because they were facing a team that was also willing to play ball and also looking threatening when they have the ball going forward. Yes, Sundowns had the ball position in the first half, but they had it in those areas where they were not going to hurt Pirates most of the time, and Pirates were happy to let that happen. But as soon as they were entering those areas, Pirates really tried to compete for the ball so that they are not hit by Mamelodi Sundowns, because Sundowns are definitely going to deal with you if you don't defend very well. So when it came to defending, they had to defend. In the first half, one thing that I also picked up is what I spoke about in the previous videos when I said I have nothing against Radio Pane, but I would prefer Evidence Makgopa starting for Orlando Pirates because I know, and even other opponents know what he's capable of, even if he's not the most lethal goal poacher, but he makes the team play. He makes the wide players play better, and we saw that in the first half. Actually, you saw Evidence Makgopa being able to hold up play at the front, hold the ball, allowing the wingers to position themselves in good position, and also allowing the fullbacks to also push a little bit forward. And that's what I was saying, that in the previous two games, it's one of the things that we really missed. We did not see enough of that, and I felt that could have been one thing, one area of the game that the coach could have actually worked on to make sure that they do well on their left and right. The last time we saw them doing so pretty much well with their wingers was in the game against Polokwane City in the same competition, but it was Radio Pane was actually playing. But today we saw what I was talking about, that you need that striker that is going to be feared a little bit so that defenders don't become too relaxed and think they can push forward and assist the team to move outside of their own box. In as much as the Mamelodi Sundowns, I did not see so many clear chances created in the first half. Yes, they had the ball position, like I said, which is a Mamelodi Sundowns thing, and not the only thing, but one of the things that has to worry you if you're an Orlando Pirates fan is the leadership at the back. Mbogazi is still young. You don't really expect him to marshal the back four, so you expect Sipho China to make sure that he puts the back four in place and make sure that they're in better positions to defend pretty well. In the first half, in the goal that Mamelodi Sundowns scored was pretty much evidence of that. What I'm saying, that the defense of Orlando Pirates actually was not properly aligned. And it almost happened for the second time. And I saw Van Rooyen on the ground when Tebogo Mokoena headed the ball for goal. I don't know how that happened. Pretty much it means physically they were not they are not pound for pound. Van Rooyen was not doing well against Tebogo Mokoena. It happened again in the second with the second corner. It could have been a goal again. Again we saw Van Rooyen on the ground, and we saw Tebogo Mokoena getting that free header again. Could have easily been a goal, but I think it was charged for a foul or it could have been a foul, because I don't think it would have been an offside from where he was. Yes, there was a controversial incident. There's that one offside that was called by the linesman, and I think most of us will agree that in as much as we can say it was a tight one, many people would probably lean towards saying that was onside. It looked onside. I think I looked at it and I felt that was onside. There were other offside calls that were made, but most of them were pretty much accurate. But that particular one that was called and that got the Paris fans rattled at the stadium was because I think it pretty much looked onside, and could have been 1-1 before the end of the first half. It could have been a different game had that goal been allowed to stand, because he was on for goal had it not been called for onside. But the number of offside for Orlando Pirates excuse me, the number of offside for Orlando Pirates were many, and that also has to do with the fact that I think Pirates tried to play direct instead of trying to entertain the ball too much in the middle of the park, because I think they pretty much have an idea that if we try to play at the center, we're going to be outplayed by the likes of Allende, Mokoena, and Themba Zwane. Speaking of Themba Zwane, very unfortunate for him to be stretched out of the game in the 13th or 14th minute because of an injury that looks like a groin injury. So yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be out for. It's a shame, man. One of the greatest players we've ever seen, suffering these constant back-to-back injuries, not playing enough game. So yeah, it also has to do with the age. But speedy recovery to Mshishi. We hope to see him very soon. I'm not sure that we're going to see him next week though, because I think those kinds of injuries take a little bit of time. But yeah, the second half we then saw Mamelodi Sundowns starting pretty strong, because they knew they are playing against a team that knows how to attack them, and they are trailing and they're at home. So Sundowns had to make sure that they're not on the back foot. They put Pirates against the wall and make sure that Pirates doubt themselves. But they still couldn't find the second goal. Had they found the second goal, perhaps, when you are leading, especially just after scoring, you become more vulnerable. But what we saw in the first half is that when Sundowns, after scoring the first goal, Pirates was more vulnerable after Sundowns scored the goal, and that has to do with the fact that Sundowns know how to step up a game. Okay, in the previous games that we've seen, Sundowns were not the Sundowns that we know. That they played pretty much in the first, second gear of their level of game. But we saw them stepping it up today. They had to step it up. Otherwise, they can't get results against Orlando Pirates playing at the same level as they did in the previous two games that we've seen in the league, and also that one game that we saw them play. Even though they won with the big score against Richards Bay, they were still pretty much in the first or second gear of. I even said in the third gear, but they're pretty much on half clutch of football. But today they had to step it up, and we saw them stepping it up, and also Pirates also stepping it up. Pirates played much better than the other three games that we've seen them play so far this season. They just couldn't get the results. The later part of the second half, the introduction of the substitutes in the form of Apolis, we also saw Muremi coming through. Who else came through? I can't remember the third player that came through, but that changed the game for Orlando Pirates, because now we started seeing the passes that we're not seeing in the first half. The thing is, having Maswanganyi in that midfield of Orlando Pirates, in as much as he's very skillful and can eliminate players, he's not a direct player. He's not the kind of player who'd take the ball and drive forward and try to eliminate players. He will definitely win you position and keep the ball and try to eliminate players here and there, but he's not so direct. But the introduction of Apolis playing those diagonal passes, switching sides, you saw the ball switching from the left to the right as soon as those players were introduced. The right hand side looked very lively with Sibilibili and Muremi actually combining pretty well there on the right hand side. That made Pirates look a different team, and that's how they also got the goal. We saw the goal coming from the left back in the form of Mbogazi. He played that pass from the left back of Orlando Pirates all the way to the right wing, and eliminating the entire midfield of Mamelodi Sundowns, and creating an opportunity for Sibilibili to be one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Beautiful goal that was taken by Orlando Pirates, and I think they deserved it, because towards the end of the second half, it was pretty much Orlando Pirates. So this was a game of two halves, not to sound cliche, but it's pretty much what we call a game of two halves. Sundowns dominated the first half, did pretty well in the first half, got the goal in the first half, and in the second half it was Orlando Pirates who came and played, especially after introducing those substitutes. That changed the game for Orlando Pirates. That you need a strong bench that is able to change the game for you, and we saw that happening. Otherwise, this is game on now. This is game on. No team can claim to have advantage. Yes, if it ends 0-0 at Lucas Moripe Stadium next week, it would mean Mamelodi Sundowns go through, if I'm correct, because I believe they still have on the away goal in the MTN 8. That means Orlando Pirates have to go out at the Lucas Moripe Stadium and try and find the goal, because if they don't, they will be eliminated. That then creates another opportunity for us to watch an entertaining game of football where you know for sure Sundowns are definitely going to be an attacking team. That's who they are, that's their identity, and Orlando Pirates have to attack, because they have to definitely get a goal, because if it ends this way, it favors Mamelodi Sundowns. A beautiful game of football. I was really impressed. The crowd attendance was also beautiful. It was a nice game. It was a beautiful afternoon of football out at the Orlando Stadium in Soweto. Those who made time to go to the stadium, we say shout out to you. Otherwise, this has been Fans Corner. Shout out to you as well who made time to watch this video. Like I said, make sure to subscribe, like our videos, also share them if you can, and also follow us on our socials. This has been Fans Corner. We meet again in the next one.